Hey everybody, it's Betsy Davis with Colorbar, Print Marketing with a Twist, joined by my girl Kim.
Hey there, hey everyone, hey Betsy, how you doing?
I'm awesome, how are you?
I'm good. Are we still tired? Have we recovered?
I don't know. I think we're still delirious. I feel like I'm still delirious.
A little bit.
From our Glimpse event.
From our Glimpse event.
And we are wearing t-shirts to prove that we had our first Glimpse event a few weeks ago. It was amazing. I don't know that we knew exactly what we were in for whenever we started having this concept this year. But we started Glimpse 2 years ago.
Right, yes we did.
As an in-person event, which was also quite the undertaking that we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into at the time.
If we had a clue, we wouldn't have done it.
That's what you said. You said that to me whenever I first walked into the studio a few weeks ago. And yeah, I'm gonna blame all of this on you.
Which is
fine. No, it's a good thing to get blamed for because it really was great. But
it was different, But if we're talking, if we're creating a network, right, which is Glimpse is our thought leadership,
Glimpse, yep,
platform, and we're we want to talk tech with and innovation and ideation and include clients and industry leaders and subject matter experts, and really just kind of create conversations and create networks around what we're seeing in the industry, what are challenges, what are opportunities, where is technology going, when do we use it as a tool versus a strategy, and just really kind of keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
So I thought it was super cool when we kind of started talking about this last fall, and it was like, hey, we don't think we want to do in-person every year, but what we'd like to do is we'd like to keep the conversation going and do it virtually.
And we did. No, I'm really glad that we brought it back. It was a really great in-person event here in Florida.
Yes, it was.
A couple of years ago, and Kim actually came up with the concept like she does for most of our great things, even Colorbar.
Yes.
But it was that glimpse into the future and innovation and learning and what's happening in the market. And so we kind of kicked it off. We decided to revitalize it this year and decided to take it virtually first with not a webinar. Not a webinar. You taught me. You were like, Betsy, we've got to step it up. Like, if we're talking technology and innovation, we cannot do a 2020 webinar. We're going to step it up and do a real produced live event.
It was basically TV.
It was live television.
It was live television, which I'm not quite sure, as you know, because we had multiple conversations and we've been working on this for a long time, and I've been working on it in studio, kind of in a executive producer type of role with an awesome crew of people, the Green Slate people, Image Garden, Ben. I mean, everybody, it couldn't have been better or more helpful to pull all of this off. But yes, when you walked in, I saw the look on her face, and I'm like, I'm not sure Betsy made the leap from webinar in 2022. Basically, Kim's producing live TV that's going to get streamed.
I'm going to tell you right now, I had no clue. And if I was really talking the way Betsy usually talks, there'd be another word in between there, but I'm not going to say that on Colorbar.
That's right. We're keeping it clean today.
But I mean, I walked in and there's literally sound booth and people and sound people and a green screen and cameras. I mean, literally lights, camera, action kind of moment. And I'm like, what did Kim just sign me up for? But we rolled with it. We rolled with it. We did it. Yeah.
We did. No, and I'm super excited that we did it because I really felt like when we're talking what's new, what's out there, different trends, technology, innovation, to your point, just elevating your A game. Like we can do this, like get out there, what's new, how can we use it, what application does it have, even in our environment.
Right.
And how we bring that to market. Even figuring things out, we had 4 panelists, amazing panelists.
Really good.
Join us.
Yes.
I'll let you speak to that in a minute.
Sure.
But even going through, we had some in studio with us that were shooting, and then we had 3 join us virtually, and how to make all of that work. And we created a virtual studio, we shot on green screen, and we streamed live.
Yeah, so going back to the panelists.
And the topic, I guess I should bring that up.
We should bring that up. So, let's rewind. glimpse. So we kind of decided that we were going to do this. So we got online and started researching what are the marketing trends of 2025. I personally went on and just looked at all the marketing conferences that were happening this year and what were the topics, what were the keynote speakers speaking about, what were the breakouts, and you could not escape the topic that we talked about, which was hyper-personalization. And so for us as printers at Sandy, personalization, personalized direct mail, personalized print has been part of our DNA for
Forever.
a really long time. And so it was like, oh, wow, this is, I mean, yay for us because we get to talk about stuff that we do all the time. But it's definitely a different conversation this year, which is a lot of what we talked about at Glimpse.
Right. Yeah. It was like, why does this feel new?
Why does this feel new?
Yeah, we've been doing it, but all of a sudden, it feels new.
It feels new. Yeah. So we landed on hyper-personalization as our first topic of conversation.
Yep.
It kind of aligns with some new technology that we invested in as an organization with the inkjet web, which allows us to print personalization at scale from a direct mail perspective. And then it was, who do we need to help us have this conversation? So we started thinking about people that we knew, clients that we knew, partners that we had been working with. Yeah. And so, yes, to your point, we developed this really great dynamic group of panelists. So we had Carrie Hatch,
yes,
who you introduced us to.
Yep, from the agency side.
From the agency side. She was CEO of MDB Communications out of DC. Then we had Ken Madsen. He calls himself the Martech Whisperer. Love that.
I will have to say, I buy that all day long because he was fascinating. I mean, I didn't understand a word he said. Betsy, I actually also had to look up hyper-personalization when Betsy told me that was going to be the topic for the first glimpse. I'm like, let me get right in on top of this and figure this out. But seriously, he was, like I said, I didn't understand a word, but I felt smarter by listening to him.
Yeah, we will probably hear this throughout Colorbar that I will be saying, put that in Betsy terms. Ken is definitely one that I have to have him put things in Betsy terms for me, but he is kind of the martech technology-focused guy. Has his own agency called Mad Productions, but he sits as chief technology or chief marketing technologist on an advisory council. So super smart, but is helping brands kind of figure out how to use technology to do it. And then we had Phil Corbett. Phil will be on Colorbar next week.
Yes, Phil was great.
Phil is a character and so much fun, and definitely puts data into Betsy and Kim terms.
Yes.
But he works for a company called AMP Analytics, who we use for helping our customers and even helping us provide solutions to our customers when it comes to data modeling and micro modeling and model.
But
hair flip.
Hair flip.
Yeah, walk the runway model. That's not the kind of modeling we're talking about, but yes. So Phil from AMP Analytics, and then last but not least, Alex Alzate we wanted to have one of our clients, somebody from the brand side that's really having to execute against it. But I think he brings an even more interesting perspective because he works in marketing operations, marketing production, marketing technology for Quest Diagnostics. And so he's the one being asked to figure out how to execute all of these things.
And that's also an interesting market to be into, to be able to have to execute all of this with all the other different conversations that we brought into Glimpse, the AI conversation and personalization, Alex's, how they're doing things, what they're looking for. So it was really cool to have kind of like the agency brand advocate side, the brand side, and then the two guys who are going to make it all happen for you.
That's exactly right. And the other level that I thought was interesting with Alex is the healthcare side. So with Quest,
that's another layer.
Having to take PHI and HIPAA and all of this really sensitive customer data into regard whenever you're talking about personalization, kind of brought it to your point, brought a different level to the conversation from a legality perspective and all the things that they have to consider from a healthcare perspective. So yeah, it was, I think they don't even know. I don't think they knew what they were getting themselves into. Phil was just like a kid in a candy store on the green screen set, getting involved and doing all of that. So it was fun to, again, elevate the entire experience for everybody.
We definitely did. And we drank a little bit of our own Kool-Aid too, because we're going out there. This was our invitation.
Yeah, show off the work.
Show off the invitation. we had a little bit of a 80s mixtape theme because nothing is really more personal than a mixtape.
Love a mixtape.
Gotta love a good mixtape.
I mean, some people that are watching this may not even know what a cassette tape is. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Personalized playlist for the rest of you.
Yeah. And a cassette tape was something I don't know. Anyway,
Right.
it's a long story. We'll talk about that another
Yeah,
day.
yes. But anyway, so it was one of those things where you and I were talking, and we were kind of going through the campaign and how we were gonna market it and everything. And you and I were having one of our happy hour conversations, and I was like,
Speaking of,
and I was like, Betsy, we can't have a conversation around this if we don't do it ourselves. I'm like, so what are we thinking we want to do? So we kind of came up with the idea of a personalized invite for everybody who's inviting, and we created, using AI, personalized playlists based on industry. So you got your name personalized here, so you were personalized your name, you had your personalized playlist based on what industry you worked on, and then obviously you had the mailing data information on the back.
So I'm going to talk about this playlist thing because I think it was so cute when Kim and the team brought the idea. I'm like, this is so cute and so fun. So, but to give you guys an example of what she's talking about, so the automotive industry, for instance, the playlist would be like Little Red Corvette, Don't Drive Over 55, or whatever the song is.
I can't drive 55, I think.
I can't drive 55. I really can't drive 55. So that would be for the automotive industry.
Right.
For healthcare, it would have been like Doctor.
Yep.
I don't even know what else was on the healthcare playlist, but fitness, if you think about, what's her name? Let's Get Physical.
Olivia Newton-John.
Let's Get Physical. So it would be those types of, the songs would be relative to the industry that the person worked in. Yeah, which I thought was super fun. Yeah. And we used AI to create those.
And we used AI to create all of those.
We were so fancy.
We were very fancy. We used AI technology to do that. We also used marketing technology solutions to actually go in and marry all of the personalized playlist and data with the creative, so we could print and have, all of these individually done and out the door.
I know, it's really interesting, and I think probably a lot of people do this. What we just did for ourselves, we do for our customers all day, literally all day, every day, and we use our variable data print software. and our teams to pull it all together from a creative perspective. And then when we had to go execute it ourselves, we're like, well, now I get why our customers are like, how do we do this? How do we do this? Because we guide them on how to do it all the time. Right. And then we had to sit down and put pen to paper ourselves. It was.
Well, I don't guide them, but yeah, we have people who do.
We've got some people that do.
More qualified people.
That's right. But it was fun. It was fun seeing it come together. And I actually got a picture from our CEO, Luke Westlake, sent me a Snapchat, or not a Snapchat, but sent me a snap of a customer of ours that got the invite. It was
really?
How do I get the recording of all this? So we will be releasing the recording, or we actually probably already have.
We did a little video case study of the making of the invitation and what went into it and the different technologies and how we, to your point, how we did use AI to come up with all the different playlists and the technologies, to your point, that we use for our customers every day. Yep. So we do have that. And it will be available. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. And also, just for those of you that missed the live event, we did record that, and we've made it available for you to access as well. You can get it at sandyalexander.com/news, along with all the great content that we developed.
Yes.
White papers and case studies and all the acronyms around AI. We created a one-sheeter around that.
That was actually one of a fascinating point of our conversation with all of our panelists on AI. Not only is it like you can't go anywhere without hearing it, and you were very funny with your AI. AI, is this the acronym of 2025 or what, folks?
It is the acronym of 2025. You can't not have a conversation, and it doesn't, I don't know. It's come up all week long for the last couple of weeks. I feel like that's all I talk about.
And I think in every industry is talking about it. Like, we're all having the same conversation. Is it a tool? How do you make it a strategy? Everybody's trying to figure it out. How to organize your data. Just all things AI. But And how to use it, kind of almost like best practices, like with Carrie, and talking about how brands use it. And you and I have had this conversation, which I know we've touched on a couple times, about can you go too far? How personal is too personal? Is there a legality element aspect to it? And I think those were all things that we talked about. And but yeah, all the acronyms. And what was it? Did Ken tell us that there's over like 14,000 different technologies out there or something like that?
There were so many stats and so many things, but yes.
I wouldn't run a data model on us, so we might want to let that one go.
But speaking of people running data models
Yes.
on us, we do have like the brands that we love to talk shop.
We do love to talk shop.
Shopping will be in one of our future podcasts.
Yes.
When we're talking shopping, you will see how excited and passionate we are about that. But we've talked about it, that the retailers that you and I love, how personally they get with us, which is exactly where this conversation about Glimpse went, which is hyper-personalization and how brands are communicating with us. Where do you reach that creep factor? And we were talking about it this morning. It really is like there's this really,
it's a fine line, I think.
Balance, this beautiful dance that you have to do to
happy place.
This
happy place.
This happy place. Let's get to the happy place. But of how personally do you get? Because we want you to know when to talk to us. We want you to know what to talk to us about. We want you to tell us things that we should know but don't yet.
Right.
But I also don't want you to know too much or get too creepy. But I mean, like even Ken Mattson, watch the glimpse recording, and you'll see Ken tell the story of the solar panel story about
that
his
was
house.
Too much for me.
And I'm sitting there, and he was fascinated by it and was like, "There's nobody else that I would ever use other than this company because they were so smart about how they approached all of their communications with me." Utilizing Zillow and AI and geo-targeting and all of these technologies and apps to really hone in on his home. But as he's telling the story, I was like, okay, this might be the creep factor for me. This feels a little odd that you just showed me on my home where to place the solar panels. But other people, find it fascinating. I think for him, the tech side of it, he realized how that all the pieces came together, and so for him, it was more kind of fascinating.
Well, I think from a technology side of it, I think it is fascinating.
Yes.
I think it's fascinating for other people.
Right.
I appreciate it, and it is fascinating.
But leave you out of it?
Leave me out of it.
That's hysterical. And then hyper-personalization. So we see it with the brands that we work with from a print perspective. You can tell that people are ready to take it to the next level. And so we get involved in those conversations a lot about, okay, but we need to elevate our data. That's when we call our boy Phil. That's when we call Phil, or, I immediately pick up the phone and call our tech teams and say, okay, so they have the data. How do we transform that into a printed piece? How do we help our customers walk through that journey? We've even done things on the martech side for customers that have come to us and said, we're getting personal already with all of our digital communications and using tools like Marketing Cloud and others that are out there for marketing platforms to execute our digital, but we know print's working, but we don't have an outlet within those marketing platforms to execute print against. So we've taken it upon ourselves to build the technology. MailPath is our tech around that. That is now allowing our customers to use the channel that we love the most, which is print and direct mail, to still get personalized but trigger it, the right message at the right time as the customer expects it to be, with the similar content that they're seeing digitally, and executing that from a print perspective. So we, as printers, we talked about this, I think, in our very first episode, that we're no longer just printers, that we're technologists, and we are, we're having to talk data and
marketing
and strategy and journeys and where we're trying to take all the channels and where we're trying to get a consumer to engage with the brands that we're supporting. So it's an interesting conversation for sure, but one that I'm excited to see where it takes us.
Yeah, it has. I mean, it really seems to have like endless possibilities. It just, I think consumers are, they're very savvy.
Yep.
So they want you to know something about them. So, what you know about them, how you reach them, when you reach them, how you do that. They want to be delighted. And you've got everybody kind of having, like we said, they're having the same conversation. Everybody's trying to get to that person, whoever that person is, in their space.
Right.
And the best way to do that. And utilizing all, combining all, like, it's like Phil's lasagna. We have to combine all of these different ingredients, and cook it.
Yeah.
And deliver it and delight our guests or our consumers.
Yeah, well, his point about the lasagna was he's done it the same way all the time, which is kind of like we talked about personalization, and we've been doing it for a long time. We've been using the same recipe for a long time, but he added that extra little, that different cheese that just made it pop, as he keeps saying. And so I think now when we talk about it, feels like a different conversation. It's because we've got to add the new cheese to the personalization conversation to make it pop and be something different and elevated. So hyper-personalization, great topic. Check it out. You can, again, access the full recording of our hour conversation with the panels that we just talked about. And this topic, we could sit here and chat about it forever. Like I said at Glimpse, we could sit here and talk about it for hours if you'd let us. Just this one-time event that we had a few weeks ago. We're planning on having another Glimpse virtual event. We'll be doing it in studio again.
Yes.
In the summer. Betsy, our Chief Revenue Officer, all things retail. So we're going to focus on the retail market in June. Kind of teeing up for everybody in the retail space is thinking holiday already in the summertime. So we're going to be talking about what things are happening in retail and in-store environment in the summer. In June we'll do that. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do in the fall. Anybody has any ideas? Holla.
Exactly.
Because we're going to try to figure out hey girl, hey, tell me what you want to talk about in the fall.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we need some talk. We'll figure something out. But so we'll do something in the fall, and then the game plan is to do another really fun in-person event in the beginning of 2026 for Glimpse. And right now the concept is to kind of lean into what we did a couple of years ago, but to find some really great partners and subject matter experts and industry leaders to come in and do some breakouts and conversations. But I think one of the things that I loved about the first Glimpse event was we had customers from a lot of different industries, honestly, from all over the country that came into Florida for that event and sat around and had dinner. We even had a magician. We had a musician come in, and had people just sitting at tables and having really great conversations. So again, kind of the intent of Glimpse was to create a community, to create a network, to create a space where people felt comfortable enough to be honest, vulnerable, if you will, to talk about what they're struggling with within their own companies, what are they trying to figure out, what technologies do we need to be talking about and considering, and just sit there and hear people really talk about it and also get personal.
Get personal?
Pun intended, to get personal and get to know each other better. And for us, it's a great opportunity just to be in front of our customers face to face. We're so behind the Zoom calls so often that it's nice to be able to sit down and break bread and face to face with each other again. So I'm already getting excited about.
Looking forward to that. That's going to be.
Me too.
Yeah,
me
that'll
too.
be fun.
There's no telling how tired we're going to be by the time that event happens. But we'll try to be on our look our best whenever we finally get there in February, whatever date we land on. Thank you, as always.
Well, thank you. Absolutely.
Always good to hang out.
Always fun to hang out.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, I'm looking forward to, our next episodes and all that other kind of good stuff and just continuing the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Join us for Colorbar, Print Marketing with a Twist. Every Tuesday night, you can find us 5 o'clock Eastern, and we will see you soon. Cheers.